how to understand the contradictions created by so-called modern scientists about proofs of dinosaur fossils, Homo sapiens, Darwin's theory in comparison to the 4 Yugas theory. Well, actually speaking, we as devotees, we don't have to do much about these proofs of dinosaur fossils and Homo sapiens and Darwin's theory and all that. They themselves will disprove themselves. So, you don't have to do anything. Rest assured. Some scientist will come up in the future and he will say, all this is bogus. Now I am giving a new theory. And it's a reality, it has already been done. You look at Fox television, I think about 20 years back, they came up with a television series, documentary series, Fox Studios in the US, and completely demolishing the Darwin's theory. That all this is nonsense, it is all evidences, archaeological evidences they have given and disproved it already. So you don't have to do anything. So, as far as we are concerned, what we have to understand is, no knowledge can be propagated without faith. Normally what scientists try to present is that science is all about practical knowledge. It is verifiable knowledge. You make a statement in science that value of G is 9.81 meters per second square, my favorite example. Or the value of the velocity of light, c, is so and so. You can actually measure and verify. It is verifiable. All the conclusions which are drawn in science. This is what science is. When it comes to religion, Bhagavad Gita, this is all faith. If you have faith, okay. If you don't have faith, also okay. That is the way they present it. But what is reality? Reality is, even for a science to exist and to propagate, it is based upon faith. When we go and sit in the school or the college classroom, what are we doing? We are taking a book. It's a piece of paper on which some letters are printed. On the basis of that, we are accepting that the diameter of the earth is so and so, so many millions of miles in diameter. Has anybody taken a tape and measured it? How are you saying this is the diameter of the sun, this is the diameter of the earth? But when we study in the book, what happens? We swallow it like that. Into 10 to the power of 28 miles, by heart it. And when you go to the exam, immediately tak raha, satisfied. I've, learned something from science. What is the reality? Nobody has measured. I can tell you, daave ke saath keh sakte hain. I can tell you with utmost confidence. I can write in stamp paper and give it to you. Nobody has measured the diameter of the earth. Anybody has done? You bring him to me. I'd like to talk to him. But we accept when science. Why? Because it is there in the textbook. It is written in the textbook. This is the value. How can you say this is not the value? So you are placing your faith on the textbook. Your father learned this. Your college teacher is teaching you this. All the scientists, big scientists, they are all getting Nobel Prizes. They are all accepting this. What? They are all fools or what? All of them are telling, so this must be truth. What is this called? This is called faith. So even science is propagating and existing on the basis of faith, no? But there is a value to that faith. Why? Because you are not going to the, sabji mandi and taking up some ragged pieces of paper and taking the value of the velocity of light and the diameter of the earth and all from that, right? You are going to an authorized university. In that authorized university, there is an authorized syllabus. In the authorized syllabus, there is a recommended textbook. And in that recommended textbook, when you open it and see, there is a certain value. So you accept. So your faith is also not blind faith. Blind faith is bad. Your faith is in the authorized system of disseminating the scientific knowledge. This is called Shruti Pramana. Why Shruti Pramana? Because in the Vedic system of epistemology, you see how the Vedic knowledge is so, it is analytically very rigorous. In science, do you learn anything about epistemology? What are the different kinds of proofs? We learn so much Dalton's theory, we learn some Lagrange's theorem, we learn so many things, but what are the different kinds of proofs? Has anybody taught us? It doesn't exist in science. But you look at Vedic system, they say there are different kinds of proofs you can give. One of them is the first level, the lowest level of proof is called Pratiksha Pramana. Direct perception. What I see with my eyes, I believe. So this is called a Pratiksha Pramana. Somebody says that a chair, don't sit on it, they painted it, it is wet. What you will do? You will go and touch it. What you are saying is true. Why? You want to see with your own eyes whether what you are saying, what the other person is saying are true or not. This is called Pratiksha Pramana. But Pratiksha Pramana is very limited. You look at the sun, it appears like a small thali of maybe 10 or 12 inches in diameter. But we all know, sun is many millions of miles in diameter. So with your eyes, you cannot actually get perfect knowledge. Beyond this wall, what is there? I cannot see, you cannot see. Maybe Superman can see with his X-ray vision. But that's only in comics. As far as we are concerned, we cannot see what is beyond the wall. So my eyes are limited. My ears are limited. Certain wavelengths I cannot hear. A dog can hear certain frequencies which I cannot hear. So my ears are limited. So Pratiksha Pramana has limited application. Certain places you can apply Pratiksha Pramana, but not everywhere. So certain things which you cannot perceive directly with your senses, like what is beyond this wall. How do I understand what is there? There is something known as Anumana Pramana. By hypothesis, by conducting various experiments and doing different kinds of calculations, I come to a conclusion that this must be the fact. I take a ray and then pass it between a cathode and an anode, and then I see that the ray is getting diverted. Then from that I deduce that electron must be negatively charged. Rutherford's experiment. This is called deduction, knowledge by deduction. This is called Anumana Pramana. Science largely relies on these two things, Pratiksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana. Third thing is called Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana means I accept as truth, as reality, whatever I get from an authorized source of knowledge. Just like I go to the college recommended textbook I read, in that some value is given, I accept that as the fact. Outside some other bookshop you go, some other book is there on the same subject, he will give a different value, you will not go by that. Because if I write that value in the exam, marks jayega. So I have to go only by the textbook which is given in my hand by the college. Because that's the authorized thing. What that fellow is selling in the shop, I don't know whether it is authorized or not. So I will stick to this, isn't it? This is the reality. So you place your faith not blindly on something, but on an authorized source of knowledge. This is called Shabda Pramana. The Vedic literature, when it comes to Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, etc., they are all talking about a spirit soul, about Atma, which you cannot perceive with your direct senses. You cut up the body, open it up, and open the heart and dissect the whole body, you will not find the soul anywhere. Forget about soul. Even the mind and intelligence you cannot see here. Forget about soul. You open up the brain and dissect it. Can you find the brain? Find the mind and intelligence anywhere? You cannot find, because it's subtle. It cannot be perceived with your direct senses, with your eyes, ears, skin, touch. You cannot perceive it. So much finer than the mind and intelligence is the soul, Atma. So how can you perceive it with your senses? So Pratiksha Pramana will fail in understanding Atma. Then Anumana. By Anumana shall I find out the soul is beyond even Anumana. You may to some extent be able by Anumana also to understand that there is something beyond this body. That much you can make out by Anumana. That is the process of Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is Anumana Pramana only. They study all the elements that constitute this body. There are the 5 gross elements, 3 subtle elements, 5 working senses, 5 knowledge bearing senses. Then there is the consciousness, and after all this, where am I? I'm not any of these things. So I must be different from all these things. I must have an existence independent of this. So therefore, I'm not this body. I'm something else. That much you can make out. Beyond that, who am I? What am I? What is my constitutional position? Is there somebody who has created me? Who has created me? From where have I come? Who is the source? What is the purpose of my existence? We want answers to all these questions. Anumana also proves. So what is the only thing that remains? Shabda Pramana. Authorities who know who is that supreme absolute truth. From where have we come? Where do we have to go? What is our constitutional position? They are people living in the spiritual world, and they come here to tell you, Arey Baba, I am coming from there. I know what is there. Come with me. So we go by those people, by such authorized people. And who are these authorized people? They are called Acharyas. As Prabhupada gives towards the end of the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, as it is, Prabhupada gives the unbroken chain of the disciplic succession. Starting from Krishna. Krishna, his disciple was Brahma, Brahma's disciple Narada, Narada's disciple Vyasa, Vyasa's disciple Madhvacharya, Madhvacharya's disciple Padmanabha Tirtha, etc., etc. And 32nd in that unbroken chain of disciplic succession is Srila Prabhupada, and he is the Acharya. So, because of this unbroken chain of Guru Sishya Parampara, of this Acharya Parampara, we accept whatever the Acharya gives as truth. And so, therefore, we go by the highest form of proof, which is known as Shabda Pramana. So, all these contradictions which are being propagated by so-called scientists and all that, by the scientists, by the scientific world, they are all depending on lower levels of pramana. So they are not able to, they have no access to this knowledge. That's the reality. With all your meters, ammeter, voltmeter, ampere meter, you bring all your meters and you measure all the different parts of the body, and you find out, you figure out what is the measurement of consciousness. Can you measure? You cannot measure. There is no meter which has been discovered, no meter you can discover also, which can measure and tell whether a person is lying still on the ground, whether he is a dead body or a living person. You have to only go by whether he is breathing, whether he is having heartbeat, symptoms. And then there are people who become brain dead. They are lying in the ICU, you put them on artificial respiration. Whether they are living or dead is nobody knows. Coma, one very nice term we have invented, coma. What is the meaning of coma? Coma means I don't know. Doctor does not know whether he is dead or alive. So he says he is in coma. Very convenient. Arey, doctor, tell me whether he is alive or dead. No, he is in coma. That means doctor does not know. Because he cannot measure. There is no way he can know that whether the person is dead or alive. Because you cannot measure consciousness. You can only see the symptoms of consciousness. Activity, the awareness, comprehension. These are all symptoms of consciousness. By these symptoms, when these symptoms are manifested, you say the person is alive. Right? Now, science is thinking life is existing because of breathing, because of heartbeat. They are thinking like that. That's why when a person goes into coma, they become confused. They don't know whether this person is alive or dead. Artificially, we are pumping air into him. But is he really breathing? I don't know. I put a pacemaker into his heart. It is going on pumping blood. Blood is circulating. But is he alive or dead? Because symptoms of consciousness are not seen. So, you cannot make out. So, you can only understand the presence or absence of consciousness by symptoms. Why all this difficulty? Why you have to put that person on that ventilator and keep him in the hospital, spend so much money, and all the relatives also suffering? Why so much? Put one meter into him, check whether consciousness is there. Consciousness is there, he is alive. He is not there, consciousness is not there. Still breathing is going on, pumping, heart pumping is going on, but consciousness is not there, he is dead. Declare, over, ho gaya na, khatam na. You cannot do. Not possible. Because the consciousness is beyond the realm of your pratyaksha and anumana pramanas. This is the reality. To a certain extent, by anumana, by studying the symptoms and all those things, like I said, through Sankhya Yoga, you can understand. Therefore, when the scientists and when these people, when we talk to them about soul, God, all these things, they cannot comprehend, because they have access only up to anumana pramana. Beyond that, they don't have access. So therefore, what they will do, they will dismiss. All this is not true. Very easy to do that. But if you really want to sit down and analyze and see whether it is true or not, then it's very difficult. So they don't want to take the trouble. Dismiss. It's a faith. Leave it. So, as far as dinosaur fossils, Homo sapiens are all concerned, like I said, there are so many. Go to the YouTube videos, you will find so many which will speak for themselves. I don't have to separately deal with that.